Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we head back with round 5 of our Oscar Piastri F2 career mode. Yes, today we head back to the Temple of Speed in Monza. I can't believe we're already halfway through this season, but it has been mighty fun over the first 4 race weekends of the campaign, but we've still got 4 more to get through and we've got to try and get just that bit closer to, obviously, it is Fittipaldi who leads the World Championship at the moment there. But, of course, if you guys are enjoying this series, make sure you do hit that subscribe button as well for more F1 at 2021 content. We're trying to hit 50k before the end of the year, so if you could help us get one step closer, it would be greatly appreciated. We've smashed through 35k now. You guys are absolutely insane with all the continued love and support, and I cannot thank you guys enough. But yeah, today though, back at Monza, we've picked up some momentum from last weekend at Silverstone, so I'm hoping we can carry that through right the way to the end of the year and really launch a championship challenge. But yeah, let's dive into qualifying then here at Formula 1's fastest circuit. Well, looks like it's raining sideways then here at the Italian Grand Prix from Monza. Looks like it should only be in one-shot qualifying, though, rather than either of the races. So, or any of the 3 races, I should say, this weekend. There you can see, yeah, it's looking like it's going to be bright and sunny throughout the rest of the weekend. So it's a fine gamble between running a bit more aero so we got the pace in qualifying to push us up the order, and then, of course, running too much aero for the races and just going backwards down the order tomorrow. So we're going to still run quite a low setup here, and fingers crossed we can try and get this lap hooked up. Spotting our braking point in towards turn 1 though is going to be very tricky here, as it is going to be lights out and away we go. And you can see the puddles all over the place here. I haven't seen rain this bad too often on F1 2021. Down in towards turn 1. Going to brake about the 150 there as we slide in through the first corner. That wasn't actually too bad as we try to roll on the power. Oh, on the exit, getting all over the grass off the exit of turn 2 there, and that's not exactly the way you want to start a lap here in Monza, but it's not the end of the world. We can certainly try and claw back a bit of time as the lap goes on. Down in towards the second chicane. Tip it in, running a little bit wide through the first part there, but we get on the power nicely on the exit. It's all about trying to just get this car hooked up there as Armstrong now takes the lead at the front of the order. Through the Lesmos we go though. It is Armstrong and Lundgaard trading it back and forth at the moment as we get a nice run off the exit of the second Lesmo there. That's going to carry us all the way down this back straightaway here in towards Ascari, but we're still a long way off the front runners at the moment. We need to be brave through Ascari, I think. Braking just at that little patch of tarmac as we tip it in. Actually get a really nice hook up through there. You can see we're gaining quite a bit on Christian Lundgaard, but that field, of course, as always, so bunched up there as we head now down in towards the Alboreto curve. Are we going to be able to gain any more places in towards the final corner? Tip it in nice and brave on the brakes. We close up a little bit on Lundgaard and a lot of the other runners. Try to put it on the power there, and we have recovered quite a few spots as we head up towards the line. It's going to be P12 on the grid then, so not the worst result in the world, but should have been a whole lot better still. Well, that is very interesting then. Lundgaard on the pole ahead of Marcus Armstrong, but Enzo Fittipaldi, one of our big championship rivals, all the way down in 11th place as well there, and 3/10. Well, what's that? 3/10 separating the top 15 on the grid. You absolutely love to see that here on F1 at 2021. Now, our teammate Robert Schwartzman, his bad year continues down in P16. But yeah, everyone's so tightly knit there at the end of qualifying, you know, and considering the wet is meant to be the great divider in Formula 1 and Formula 2 for that matter, yeah, it seems like a lot of drivers are pretty even on the pace then. But it is going to be a high-tech front row lockout for sprint race number 1. Lawson ahead of, well, Yuri Vips, sorry, ahead of Liam Lawson. A quick reminder of the championship standings though. Fittipaldi's still out on front, 35 points clear of Liam Lawson. We're in P3 now, just 1 point ahead of Larim Zendelli there, and you can see, yeah, Lundgaard with those 4 bonus points still just sat outside the top 10 at the moment. Let's dive in then here to the sprint race number 1 of the weekend, but first, a quick word from our partners. I've partnered up with the F1 store for 2022, the best place to buy Formula 1 merchandise. Currently, they have an incredible end-of-year sale on, with plenty of 2021 lines available at up to 40% off, with official merch available from every Formula 1 team. If you're interested, click the link at the top of the description or in the pinned comment down below to help support the channel.
Welcome everybody to the heart of Italian motor racing, Monza. We're here with Formula 2 for what ought to be an extravaganza of excitement and action. Let's head to the start line and get underway. Monza is one of the fastest circuits in Formula 2, comprising some very long straights and tight chicanes. The engine spends so long at full throttle, in fact, that engine failures are not an uncommon sight here. On top of that, the 3.6 miles of track are pretty hard on the gearbox too. Turn 1 at Monza is famous, or should I say infamous, for serious contact and incidents, especially on the opening lap. What are your thoughts on that, Davide?
Yes, this chicane is a tricky one. A lot of time you see the more experienced drivers hold back from full throttle to keep themselves safe as everyone tries to squeeze into the racing line after the opening straight.
Right, well, here we are then on the grid, ready for Sprint Race 1 of the weekend here from the Italian Grand Prix in Monza. P12 isn't the best place to start, but, you know, if we can beat Fittipaldi, get ourselves comfortably inside the top 10 by the end of this one, which should be doable, then fingers crossed we can have a good race out ahead of us here. But very, very much looking forward to heading back to the Temple of Speed. Our rough weekend came back at, of course, at Baku, so I'm hoping this is going to be Fittipaldi's rough one and we can try and close up some points in the championship. But waiting on the grid then for the 5 red lights for the Italian Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go there. And look at that for a start as we head down in towards turn 1 there. Lundgaard not getting away particularly well, so both Fittipaldi and I are going to look either side of him in towards the first corner on the inside. Ooh. That was a little bit close for comfort there with Felipe Drugovich, who does spot us certainly on the exit of the corner there, but I wanted to get inside the top 10 and we've done that immediately. Straight up into 9th place then off the start of this first race of the weekend there until the outside of the Brazilian, Felipe Drugovich, as we head up in towards turn 4. Obviously trying to brake just that little bit later than we did in the wet there. Drugovich takes way too much curb on the way in, has to get on the brakes there so he doesn't run out into me and potentially ping off the side pod like we saw Sebastian Vettel do all the way back in 2018 there. But yeah, good little start then to this Italian Grand Prix. And of course, we've seen so many times in the past a driver can have a rough qualifying here, but if they've got the confidence to carry the car through the corners, you can get to the DRS of the cars in front of you. You can really still make a lot of gains around this track. I want to say it was Lundgaard who went from 18th to 3rd in one of the races here last season, but I could be wrong on that one. But anyway, coming towards the end of lap 1, looks like we have had another car sneak between both of the high-techs there. Not too sure. I'm going to guess it's Yuri Vips that leads the way at the end of lap 1, or is it going to be Liam Lawson? Let's find out in just a moment. Yuri Vips, yeah, does lead the way then at the end of lap 1 there, but we've got to try and close up the gap to Bent Viscal, as already purple through the final sector. Or coming towards the end of lap 2 there. Looks like Drugovich is sticking to the back of us here, but we are just slowly bringing the gap down to Bent Viscal in front of us. We need to wait for the DRS though, because he's been gaining a lot down the straightaways behind Teo Porcheva, losing so much through the corners there. Liam Lawson, new fast lap of the Grand Prix, as he's trying to apply some pressure to Jack Aitken there, and it's definitely sector 3 where we're strong, but yellow flags out for someone behind us. I think it's one of the Campos cars. I want to say it's Ralph Boschung, who might be again out of another race here. Jack did warn us pre-race, of course, that, you know, this track really does shred the engine. Is it Ralph Boschung in his Campos, or is it someone else? I could be very, very wrong. Whoever it is, no, Larim Zendelli, sorry, out of the race, and that's a bit gutting for him. Very, very high up in the championship, but yeah, he's been doing pretty well up to now. Big kick of oversteer there as we head out of Ascari. You've got to be really, really careful of that curbing, but looks like Viscal's just dropping back slightly from Teo Porchera in front of him, who's in a bit of a trident sandwich at the moment there. We run horribly wide though through the Alboretta curves. Oh, big snap of oversteer on the exit as well there. Jack Aitken, though, this weekend actually seems to be doing pretty well.
The fastest lap of the race so far.
As everyone pretty much inside the top 10, they're trading good laps. There's Larim Zendeli's abandoned car. So get back down in towards turn 1. See, we do gain a little bit on the Trident in towards turn 1 there, but we got very, very lucky. That inside curbing at turn 1 and turn 4, the inside curbs now have been altered, so they can really sort of throw the car around, and we got lucky it didn't do it that time. We'll not be doing that too often today. Purple through the middle sector this time. We're finding more and more pace as the car on the track slowly get rubbered in and up to temperature. Let's just wait and see then as we head back down in towards the Alboreto curve. Are we going to potentially get close enough this time round to get a run on Bent Viscalli? We need to be nice and tidy on the way in, trying to avoid using the F1 braking points and actually using the F2 ones, so we can get a really nice run on the exit of the corner there. But everyone is just stuck in a DRS train at the moment. That should be fastest lap though. There we go, almost down sub 90 seconds.
Behind by 5/10 per lap.
And now Drogovic outside the DRS, and we're going to be close enough to have a bit of a look up the inside of Bent Viscal. Oh, big movement there in the braking zone from the Trident. We were lucky we didn't go into the back of Teo Porcher there. Kept it cool, calm and composed on the brakes despite the Trident trying to murder me into the first corner. And that'll be us now up at a P7 then of this race. But yeah, the F2 drivers, they can be a little bit scary at times. We saw that with, I think it was Zendeli last weekend, of course, moving around in the brakes. And of course we saw it all the way back at round 1 of the year as well. Yeah, my top tip for you guys, don't do that. Oh, we got more yellow flags out. Someone else fall into the wayside here. I think it's another car behind us though. Oh no, it is Bent Viscal then out of the second race of the week, the first race of the weekend, sorry there. Poor Bent Viscal and his Trident was running pretty well in the points early on, but he's going to be out now, and we didn't even need to make that move then last lap if his engine was going to go. But 2 engine failures inside the first 6 laps here. Mechachrome, I think, have got some answering to do. We, however, are just trying to get inside the DRS range of Teo Porcher at the moment. Oh, look at that, someone's got issues. I think Yuri Vips there made a bit of a mistake. Jack Aitken now up into the lead of the Grand Prix, and look at this, we've been given a lifeline now. 3 Red Bull back cars in a row there as Vips, Lawson and Jayan Deruvala all getting caught out over each other here, and we've always got to be the opportunist in these sorts of situations. There's Sato as well, just waiting in the wings. How he always seems to find himself towards the front with no pace, I'll never know. But oh, poor Chair, a little bit early on the brakes than I was expecting there. That got a little bit close for comfort, but now we could see some proper F2 action here as there goes a DHL sign. That's the first one we've taken out in a while on F1 2021 as Drogovic sneaks by. Yeah, that's not quite what we wanted. Let's try and get back past Drogovic on the exit of the corner here. But what's going on to Yuri Vips? Did he just go side by side with Jack Aitken down towards the second chicane there and got completely caught out? We got more yellow flags. What's going on here in the first race of the weekend? It's another car out. I think it's Guan Yu Zhou this time who might be out of the race. Is up the inside again we go there. High-Tech's side by side just up the road. Is even more contact with Liam Lawson there, but looks like I think it was just Guan Yu Zhou dropping it by himself. There doesn't seem to be another engine failure. And this is where F2 at Monza becomes a little bit scary. Again, getting a really nice run on Teo Porcher there as we head back down the hill in towards Ascari. Are we going to be able to potentially have a look for Ascend this time round? No, again, Porcher's a little bit cautious on the brakes into there. Definitely feel like I can outbrake him, but just not sure we're going to have many places to go in the process. But again, back down in towards the final corner. Jack Aitken seems to now have just checked out at the front of this field, and he could be on for his first race victory this year in Formula 2. But can we get a nice run out of the Alboreto curve there? We almost did before the back end decided it was going to try and fight against us there. Maybe just pushing it a little bit too hard. As now we're tucked in the slipstream of Teo Porcher. Everyone drag racing back down towards someone. Are we going to see High-Tech side by side again? Porcher goes defensive. He might potentially have a look up the inside of Sato. He does have a look up the inside of Sato, as we almost made it 3 wide there, but didn't want to Max Verstappen it on the exit of the corner there. And Teo Porcher has gone from defending from one car to overtaking the next. That is pretty well done by the young 18-year-old there. But Sato's still just in front of us. We've got to try and keep our head down now and move past the Trident As you can see, the AI tend to back each other up there as all. Sato completely wallops the curb. We're going to sneak by. Thank you very much. That'll be P6 for us there. And yeah, a little bit of contact, but don't think there was going to be much I could do. In fact, to be honest, I wonder if I just saved Marina Sato there from completely spinning. Heading in towards the penultimate lap then of this first sprint of the weekend, and it is still Jack Aitken comfortably out in front, but the 3 Red Bull back drivers are still going hammer and tong here with just a couple of laps to go. I want to see Lawson. That's the car, of course, we need to try and jump in this race because he's still got a handful of points over me in the championship. I think Fittipaldi, though, has snuck himself up inside the top 10 there due to some reliability issues for other cars. But anyway, back down in towards turn 1. You can see we do gain just a little bit there, but we need them to go side by side. We need the high-techs to start backing a little bit more than they are there. We have got the car back inside the 1 second margin to Teo Porcher. But yeah, we need a bit of a miracle here. We're just a lap and a half to go if we want to try and score some big points from this first race of the weekend. And there we go! Yuri Vips makes a little bit of a mistake there, and that's going to allow Jay and the Ruvala up the inside again, just attacking too much of the inside curb there. And Vips, the second time he's made that mistake this weekend. Unfortunately, though, it's going to mean Lawson is pretty much going to be unpressured in towards the final lap here. But we do the up and under on Teo Porcher here. It's now a drag race between the Carlin and the high-tech here, as Jay and Daruvala's not going to have the DRS. We're going to be able to sneak up the inside. Oh, Daruvala, very aggressive there. Yuri Vips loses the spot again, and how was Jayan held on to that there? He tried to move around down the straightaway there. Somehow we all come out of it unscathed there, and now we're just 1 lap to go of this Grand Prix. Jayan Daruvala defending for a podium, defending to try and see if he can show what he's worth. Still just nowhere to go at the moment behind Yuri Vips and Jay Daruvala. On to the final lap then of this race. Are we going to see another slip up from either of the drivers in front of us here? There is still the chance of a podium as we head back down in towards the second chicane there. Daruvala just takes a bit too much curb. This might leave him vulnerable to Yuri Vips as we head back down through the Lesmos here. If he can stay close, he might be able to get a run in towards Ascari here. But are we going to see Jay Daruvala defend once more like he did last lap, somehow able to keep the car in front of the 2 drivers behind him here? But look at this, both myself and Yuri Vips gaining on at the Indian driver there, but he looks like he's going to hold on for now. He's just got to try and get a good run out of Ascari there. Speaking of good runs out of Ascari, we might be able to now get a run on Yuri Vips. Look at that, look at the run we've got on the Estonian. We somehow sneak to the inside there. 1 more corner to go of this first race of the weekend, and are we going to be able to get it hooked up? Surely now, as we sneak up the inside of Yuri Vips there. Jack Aitken takes his first race victory of the year, and we go from 12th to 4th. Thank you very much.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
It wasn't always plain sailing today, but a very important win nonetheless. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
The difference was in the strategy. Credit to the driver for sure, but races like this really drive home how much of a team sport this is. They did a lot of work on the pit wall to really make the most of each stint and to make the best use of these tires. But that said, all of that would have been for nothing without a talented hand on the wheel.
And as the adrenaline dies down after another eventful race, here come our top 3 out onto the podium. And now, let's take a look at the drivers' standings. It was not the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. And now a look at the team standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Carlin moved up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the first sprint race here from Monza, and if the other two are going to be anything like that, I think we're in for a treat there. Jack Aitken takes home his first race victory of the year for HWA, 4 seconds clear of Liam Lawson there. Jay Andaruvula rounds out the podium ahead of myself, Oscar Piastri there, with Yuri Vips, Teo Porcher, Sato and Drogovic rounding out your points finishes there. Fittipaldi didn't end up scoring that 10th place finish that he needed, so he will start outside the top 10 for sprint race 2 there. Lundgaard will be on the pole ahead of Marcus Armstrong. But that means, championship-wise, the gap now down 23 points between the top two, and we're just another 13 points back there. Yuri Vips jumps Alessio Deleda. Sato jumps Robert Schwartzman. You love to see that here on F2 at 2021. But yeah, we got to try and keep up this momentum tomorrow in the second sprint race there. Teams Championship, MP 5 points clear of High-Tech there. The top 3 in the Constructors, much, much closer than the top 3 in the Drivers' Championship. But yeah, we are just going to aim, I think, to solidify P4 overall there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with more Formula 2 action. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.